I hope you're all having a beautiful Friday, and today we got SBDs. Just to add on to the rotation, there's this brand new gacha game that just came out just yesterday. It is called Etheria Restart, not sponsored. Once again, guys, I do not drink, smoke, or do drugs, but my only vice is gambling. And unfortunately, I did not get an SSR this round, and I'm heavily thinking about re-rolling my account. Today's Friday, and we have the glorious SBD, squat, bench, and deadlift. I have a couple clientele now, thanks to you guys. 3 students of the crafts that want to learn more in their powerlifting knowledge. I'm private messaging them on Instagram. I'm not a coach per se, just because I'm giving them all a free program. I feel like personally my knowledge is not knowledgeable enough, and I am unworthy to charge you guys a single penny yet. Maybe down the line, maybe, but we'll see. Right here, I'm doing the 4 quadrants of the first stretch. I do side to sides on my left, front to back on my left, side to side on my right, and back to back on my right. I don't know what this stretch is called, maybe leg swings, but if you guys are tight, especially at the hip, I would highly recommend doing this stretch. Another stretch before the warm-up. This is really good for making your legs loosey-goosey. Just last night, I had a 4-hour drive to go see Fiona. Right now, I'm in Delano, California. And that drive, especially being stuck in that one position for 4 hours driving, it'll really tighten up your lower back, your legs, your hamstrings, your glutes, and your hips. So if you ever have a long distance drive or you're a truck driver yourself, I would highly recommend those stretches. For all the folks that have a stiff spine, this is really good. Once again, I do not know the name of the stretch, but just having a regular 45-pound bar and tossing and turning to your right and left side will really help A, your back become stronger, and B, help your back become more flexible. I'm just a regular powerlifter that wants to do this sport in the long run, and I do not want to sacrifice my strength for flexibility. For our SBD day, we're going a little bit off program today, but if you guys want to follow along to the workout today, it'll be right here. Just an FYI, everything that I put into the notes, take it with a grain of salt. We are going to shoot around that rep and set range, especially for the weights. But there are some days, especially at this gym, they don't have the 1.25s and I can't hit the weight on the dot. There will be some days where I am on a time crunch and I can't hit all the accessories, but this is just a general idea. I'm doing this voiceover kind of late. Me and Fiona, her father and her brother, we all went to Max's, which is a Filipino restaurant down in Bakersfield. We had this huge platter of 3 whole fried chickens. Did we overorder? Probably. But at least I can chow down on some chicken breast tomorrow for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Right after that, we had a quick walk at the mall. And then after we got home, I practiced on my sax just for a tad bit. I try my best to do at least a 30-minute session every day, just for the bare minimum. Just because later down the line, I really want to play for you guys in the background for background music. Still a work in progress. I'm just learning some beginner songs, learning how to reread notes. Just because I used to play the piano as a kid, I knew how to read notes, but I completely forgot. All the lines, especially in the treble and bass clef, they confuse me, man. But it would be so funny, especially on the resume, being a powerlifter, an accountant, and a saxophonist. Lately, this past year alone, I've been really falling in love with jazz and blues. Kind of gives that elevator vibe music, and it's just so soothing and romantic, and I am in love with it. Funny enough, I've got a couple compliments asking if I can play at their future wedding, and who knows, maybe I can use this as a side gig. But anyways, for our top set for SBDs on squat, we have portrait mode for the Instagram. Nothing too crazy, just 2 reps, just a double. Earlier this week, we went a little bit too high on our load. Me and my coach, we were having a discussion and we made sure to undershoot. This is me trying to get as close to 315 as much as possible. Unfortunately, this gym does not have any 1.25 kilogram plates. So unfortunately, I did go a little bit over. And then soon right after, I also have my first drop set or my first back down set. Although this is 6 reps, I try to get it all in one go. But next week for block 6, we are definitely going to go a little bit more heavier. And by the end of that block 6, it's going to be a hell week. All-time PRs, maybe even some PRs. I may fail on a lift or two by the end of block 6. So I'm just really grateful for this deload. And my best friend said it himself. Take the deload as a time to rest, recuperate, relearn that form, and solidify it. I would say honestly that my form is good, maybe even amazing, but it's definitely not the best. And looking back now, especially on the last day of the deload, I may have taken a couple days of this deload for granted. For me personally, I get a little bit too excited, a sense of proving myself to others, and some days, most days, I just want to lift heavy, man. But also, I need to learn how to take a break, to go with the flow, and definitely prioritize on some sleep. I have been sleeping good, don't get me wrong, but on some of those days, 12 hours of sleep may be a tad bit too much. By the way, we are at the gym clocking in at around 1 p.m. Not quite just yet, but we are about to hit rush hour soon. I'm just calling it now. At around bench time is when a flood of my friends start coming in. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely adore my folks. But the reason why I work out alone is because I have a big mouth. This is something that I need to work on as well. But I gotta stop being a chatterbox, man. That's why I'm purposely trying to nerf myself. Going to the gym at 1 a.m. to 5 a.m. is peak quiet time. A time where I can purely focus on myself because there's no one there. And I don't want to be rude, I want to say hi to everybody, but it'll be a long time to catch up, especially because one of my friends, he loves anime, and we were talking about anime for like a 20-minute podcast session. He absolutely loves Naruto, loves it to death, even has an Itachi arm tattoo and an Itachi phone lock screen. He loves Naruto so much that he loves the following series, Boruto. I'm not even going to talk about that series because I must say this bench sesh was buttery smooth. You know, seeing my friends really brought an energy within me. That and the fact that Fiona gave me 2 cans of pre-workout. I had a Ghost Dreamsicle and a Red Bull Coconut Berry. So honestly, I may have trouble sleeping tonight. I also may have a slight caffeine addiction. I've been working out for a very long time, maybe 10 plus years on and off, and my caffeine tolerance is decreasing, man. I need more and more of a dosage. I believe my pre-workout has 300 milligrams of caffeine, but I could be wrong. 110% is my go-to. I believe is the best pre-workout. But yeah, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, off program, I know I just did 2 sets of the top set. My bench was feeling really good, but I did remove 1 set from the back downs. Powerlifting is all about structure, but it is also about reading your body and making sure that you do what's best. I've been with my coach for about 6 months now, and he trusts me enough to do my program how I do fit. His structure, of course, but with some minor adjustments. I've brought up this example before, but just because of how my squats are, I have really weak quads. So I do both a high bar and low bar variation in a week for my squats. I'm assigned high bar on Monday and low bar on Saturday and on Wednesday. And I have 2 days of the week for leg extensions. My quads are probably my weakest point in my whole entire body, so I need to focus and prioritize them for this and next block. And as a result, my squats are looking 10 times better. For bench, I'm still doing all I can, doing volume after volume. I'm trying to get 315 pounds before the end of the year. And then deadlifts, you guys know deadlifts is my best lift. We are definitely going off program on this one today. My good friend Ethan is working out with me. All the deadlifting platforms were taken, so I had to join him. My 2 other friends were using up the other 2 platforms, but they were using a deadlift bar. My federation and the one that I'm training to compete in is Powerlifting America, and they use a regular stiff bar for deadlifts. And this is my good friend Ethan. He's a large gentleman indeed, but he is on a cut, and I am so proud of him. I believe he's lost around 50 to 100 pounds, I believe. And you know what, guys? You got to give props to where props are due. We both have the same coach. We're both on a deload, funny enough. And one day, you guys got to see his squat. This guy squats 600 plus pounds. But I'm just so fortunate that he was able to grab a deadlifting platform, or I would have been stuck at the gym for another 2+ hours. This is me getting his headphones just because I don't want them to break when he slams the weight. And then we have our last set for pause deads. The deads were feeling buttery smooth. Not much to change, but I am adjusting my footwork a tad bit. I usually have my toes pointed outward, but now I have them slightly inward, and I can feel more of a push motion from my feet, although it is a pull movement. And other than that, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for forearms.